Bahla, a city dating from the 3rd millennium BC, with its outer wall stretching for 12 kilometres and its towering fort atop a sandstone rock, is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, marks the spot where the Omani Uz tribes defeated the Persians in the years before Islam. Bahla, with its mosques and ancient dwellings built from adobe and lime mortar 1,000 years ago. A land redolent of the past with its traditional market taking us back in time. Faces etched in history prompt the question how humankind could create such a thriving city in such a harsh environment. The answer lies in the al-falaj and the date palms, which have nurtured life in Oman's oasis over the past 2,000 years. Professor Khamis al-Adawi, historian and sociologist, will explain to us Bahla's history and unlock the secret of its past. He is meeting with Ahmed al-Tamimi, the custodian of the fort, who guides us around this historic edifice. Bahla Fort is walled, constructed in a roughly triangular shape, and is surrounded by rocky outcrops. The sloping nature of the terrain, as well as the fort's lofty walls, have always been enough to dissuade any potential aggressor. The Wilayat of Bahla lies 210 kilometres from Oman's capital Muscat and is spread over a broad upland plain. The name Bahla means gatherer of bounty and goodness, or alternatively, supplication to Almighty God. The origins of Bahla Fort go back to pre-Islamic times, a point emphasised by Ahmed al-Tamimi, custodian of the fort.
تعد قلعة بهلة واحدة من أقدم القلاع أو الحصون العمانية، يشاطرها في ذلك أيضا قلعة الرستاق وأجزاء من قلعة نخل. قلعة بهلة أيضا هي أكبر تحصين عماني، حيث بنيت على مساحة أرضية أكثر من 10,000 متر مربع. القلعة زودت بحوالي 6 أبراج وبها 7 آبار للمياه. قلعة بهلة لم تبنى ككتلة واحدة، وإنما كانت هناك أجزاء بنيت في فترة ما قبل الإسلام، ثم تبعها إضافات في القرن السادس عشر والسابع عشر والثامن عشر. أقدم إشارة إلى قلعة بهلة كانت في فترة العباسيين، حين سكنها الوالي العباسي أحمد بن هلال. ثم ذروة تاريخ هذه القلعة كانت في عصر بني نبهان.
The fort consists of a number of architectural and defensive elements which serve a variety of functions. Inside the fort there is a row of houses as well as steeply sloping terrain which in the past afforded protection to the inhabitants of the oasis, as well as sheltering camel caravans within its walls. The fort also incorporates the Grand Mosque, a covered reception area, and the Imam or Governor's residence. There are also a number of wells and towers in the fort, which consists of 3 main areas. The Old Quarter, also called the Kasbah, which is the oldest part of the fort. The Beit al-Jebel Quarter, and running between them the Beit al-Hadith Quarter, containing a number of rooms and service facilities. The entrance to the fort, known as Al-Sabah, is set between the Beit al-Jebel and the Beit al-Hadith and contains openings for pouring oil or hot water and benches for seating. The fort was used to house the Bani Naban rulers when Bahla was the capital of Oman in the 12th and 13th centuries AD. In the restoration of the fort, local materials were utilised according to exact specifications in order to preserve the original architectural style. For example, mangrove wood was used for the ceilings and doors, while mud mixed with straw, known locally as tibbin, and baked lime mixed with stone was used for the floor coverings of the internal courtyard. Historian Khamis al-Adawi, with the help of the curator of the fort, as well as old documents and manuscript, is able to give us a complete picture of life in the past in the old oasis of Bahla. The two districts of Al-Hawiya and Al-Akar form the nucleus of the city of Bahla, and we asked Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamid to tell us about the life in Al-Akar in the old days.
انت من حاره العقر، من هذه الحاره؟
هذه الحارة نعم حارة العقر.
زين، من كم سنه طلعتوا منها؟
أنا حوالي من 15 سنة.
15 سنه.
كذا.
وكانت مأهوله؟
كانت مسكونة يكون.
مسكونه يعني؟
هي مسكونة نعم، واجين فيها الناس. وهذا المسجد يصلوا فيه جماعة.
وهذه المدرسة مدرسة القرآن؟
هذه مدرسة القرآن.
نعم.
موظف له إنسان.
كان المعلم سيف بن سالم الهميمي فيها.
نعم.
المعلم سيف بن سالم كان.
لا سيف بن سالم.
نعم.
عامر بن سالم.
عامر بن سالم.
هي هذه أبو الهميمي هو.
نعم.
وقال له الفلنجة.
نعم.
وهذه عامر بن سالم فيها.
نعم.
واستوى سيد بن النوبة، أي واحد قال له سيد شايب سيد.
زين، شيء يعني سبله في الحارة؟
نعم.
شيء سبله في حارة العقر؟
هنا داخله؟
هي.
ها داخل ما شيء.
فين السبله؟
السبلة هاي ها.
نعم.
مع بيت حياة علي محمد.
زين.
هاي السبلة.
وعاد متى مرة يجتمعوا فيها السبلة؟
يجتمعوا مرة الظهر.
بعد صلاة الظهر؟
بعد صلاة الظهر.
إلى العصر؟
إلى لا ما إلى العصر.
ما إلى العصر.
يتكهفوا جابوا متكهفين وهذا ندروا وصار السوق.
وشيء مكتبة هنا في الحارة؟
نعم.
شيء حد عنده كتب في الحارة؟
من؟
كتب مكتبة شيء؟
واجد.
كثيرة ها؟
كتب واجد. ثياب لولية عندهم الكتب.
نعم. مع من كان؟
مع بن حميد شيء.
نعم.
ومع سيد بن حميد شيء.
نعم.
ومع هذا الحظاء أكثر ما يكون.
نعم.
فيها
Near the citadel lies the Grand Mosque, built on a rocky prominence. The mosque has features of religious architecture, prevalent in northern Oman, namely a roughly rectangular central hall, and parts of it date back to the year of its original construction in 528 of the Hijra. Khamis and Ahmed accompany us to the Grand Mosque near the citadel and other areas such as the living areas and the market. The roughly rectangular hall has orthogonal arches on the western wall in which is located the Qibla, or prayer niche. The floor covering of the original mosque with its glass inlays dates back 900 years approximately. The beautifully carved alabaster panels of the western wall, the mihrab, rise to a height of 6 meters approximately. The mihrab, whose construction dates back to the year 1511, is carved with intricate geometric patterns and verses from the Holy Quran on the contagious alabaster panels. The carvings in the interior of the prayer niche, with their verified motifs, are of an exquisite and rare beauty, while the external minaret with its glass surrounds is preserved in its original form. Professor Khamis and his companion Ahmed continue their exploration of the city's history through the stories narrated by its inhabitants and its historic monuments. Here we notice the continuity between civil and religious buildings. For example, the ruins of the mosque and school of Imam Muhammad ibn Barka, one of the most foremost scholars of Oman in the 4th century of the Hijra.
نحن الآن في حارة الضرح بولاية بهلة. هذه الحارة هي مقر مدرسة أبي محمد عبد الله بن محمد بن بركة البهلوي، وهو من كبار علماء عمان في القرن الرابع الهجري. ولدي لهذا العالم 3 نظريات، هي النظرية الأصولية الفقهية، والنظرية الاجتماعية، والنظرية السياسية. نحن الآن في هذه الحارة أو في هذه المنطقة حيث تجري الترميمات لإعادة الحياة مرة أخرى للمباني التي كانت قائمة كما يقال في ذلك الوقت منذ قبل 1000 سنة. هذا هو المسجد، يسمى مسجد الخير نسبة إلى هذا الرجل بكونه كان خيرا وعالما وصالحا وفاضلا. فأيضا يوجد بعد المسجد هنا قبة، تحت هذه القبة دفن العلامة ابن بركة.
The area is still undergoing restoration and maintenance to preserve the remains of this historic monument. Bahla, one of the most important walled cities in Oman, is unique in that the entire city is contained within its walls. The wall was built in the Bani Nabhan era in the 12th and 13th centuries. It extends over a distance of 12 kilometers to form a protective cordon around the whole city and contains numerous towers, gates and refuge points. The wall is built of mud mixed with pebbles and straw, but its foundations are of stone. It encloses all the districts of the city. Water is the artery of this life, and the building patterns in the districts are determined by the direction of the water courses. Social identity is shaped by a district's houses and mosques. The narrow streets and alleys, entrances, doors and windows are constructed so as to maintain segregation between the sexes and guarantee privacy and property. The style of architecture in all the districts is similar. Building materials include mud, stone and lime mortar, as well as palm trunks and bricks made of mud with straw to provide cohesion. Stone is used for foundations and arches, while mangrove wood is used in ceilings and doors.
نحن الآن في حارة العقر، وحارة العقر هي إحدى الحارات الثلاث الكبرى بالإضافة إلى حارة الغاف وحارة الخضراء. ونظام الحارة هنا هو نظام مستحكم يتبع النظام القديم من الحارات الموجودة في بهلة، وهي ذات نظام متكامل، لها بابان وبها مساجد وبها تنور الشوى وبها المجلس. الحارة طبعا هي كما تلاحظون مطابقة أو قريبة جدا من الجامع القديم ومن حصن بهلة، مما يعطيها ميزة لقربها من هذين المعلمين.
Fallage system of water channel is a predominant means of utilising subterranean groundwater. Old manuscripts attest to the antiquity of this system of water distribution among individuals according to a strict timetable of hours, days and months. The Fallage system has enabled many oases in Oman to survive and flourish in a hostile climate and environment. One can truly say that the Fallage and the date palm have been the lifeline for Oman's oasis dwellers. Khamis Al-Adawi is meeting with a group of date palm owners and farmers as they participate in the operation known as Al-Aqad. This is a kind of sale of Fallage waters to farmers and date palm owners wishing to buy. The operation is conducted through an auction in which irrigation times are sold off to garden owners by the hour or according to a conventional timetable.
ريالين و500 بن حمدان نفس الشيء. صبح
متابعات
كم النهار؟ ريال 10 كم نص الليل؟ 500 10 20 أقول لك جيب ريال صحيح أنت كم جاي لك كيف؟ هي 600 باص رد أنت ما بس لكن تفهم أنت وياه حالك أنا حنجر 205 الحنجر 205
Going to the market is a trip down memory lane. Here, the preferred method of selling is by calling out one's wares. Memories are etched on the faces of all present. The market is a communal meeting place where news is exchanged in a relaxed atmosphere. It is a large square with a tree in the middle. Around the edges of the square are shops and stores. The souk is situated near the citadel and the Grand Mosque to facilitate communication between these three constituent elements. A popular market reflects a people's culture, customs and dress, as well as their traditional crafts.
شيخ حمد ايش اللي تبيعه هنا بالدكان؟ ايش من المنتجات عندك؟
نبيع طال عمرك زي ما تقول بذر طعام وبذر بصل وبذر ثوم وحنطة حبوب، ونبيع يعني سمن، ونبيع عسول، ونبيع غزول، يعني اشياء قديمة كلها نحصل عليها ناخذها ونبيعها.
المنتجات هذا من وين؟
هذه منتجات البلد، كلها منتجات البلد، ما في من برا.
وإيش اللي تغير الوقت ولا الناس؟
لا تغير الأصحاب، تغير الناس. الوقت ما تغير، هو الوقت ما تغير. الوقت طبيعة، هو طبيعة العرض هي ما تغيرت ولا تغير شيء منها، ولكن تغير أصحابها.
سبعت هذا أوصى كل واحد زبيب هذا اللي عنده.
كيف كانت طبيعة السوق؟ كيف حياة الناس؟ ايش طبيعة السوق؟
السوق والله أول يعني السوق العصر بس كان سوق من سنين يعني قبل السبعينات كان الشياب يفتحوا العصر، الظهر ينادي على الغنم والعصر ينادي على التمر، وكان البدو يجوا من الجنوب ومن الشمال يمتاروا يعني من السوق بهلة هذا ويحملوه على ركاب ويروحوا يجيبوا يعني صخاب ويجيبوا عوال ويجيبوا حاجات هذه ويرفعوها إلى مصبة يأخذوا بدالها تمر وأغراض وعيش ويتقابلوا ذاك.
The visitor to the market gains a strong sense of the past and a vivid picture of Omani traditions and culture from observing its arts and crafts and selling rituals. On display is a great variety of goods, both local and imported. We can see all kinds of spices, herbs and seeds, as well as traditional weapons and Omani daggers or khanjas, worn by the men on the occasion of religious and national festivals. Adjacent to the souk is the craftsman's quarter for the Wilayat of Bahla. It has long been famous for its handicrafts. For generations, skilled artisans have fashioned a great variety of products, such as silver khanjas and traditional bracelets, using techniques handed down from father to son. The light ringing sound of the hammer as the craftsman engraves silver necklaces, eyes and fingertips are focused on silver chains to fashion a variety of traditional silver work. Blacksmithing is a craft used in agriculture, decoration and cooking. Spinning and weaving are also used in agriculture and animal husbandry and demand considerable technical skill and expertise. Bahla is unique in that the production of pottery in the oasis is carried on according to the norms and traditions of the early Islamic period.
الطابق بين الروايات الكلاسيكية وبين
The Work Party, the archaeological site of Salut, which date back to the 3rd millennium BC. On the slopes of the hill we can see divisions of this site, which is no larger than 2,400 square meters. The ruins of an ancient fort lie scattered beneath the soil and among the rocks forming the hill. Between the ladders we can see the outlines of rooms and stone defensive works, which are being excavated and surveyed. On this site were found a collection of clay vessels, soapstone, potsherds and bronze arrowheads. Salut is also the site of the battle between the Omani Azad tribes, led by Malik bin Fahim and the Persians, in which the Omani Azad tribes emerged victorious in the 2nd century before the advent of Islam. Bahla is famous for its traditional performing arts, the most important of which are Raza, the Rasva and the Azi. These ceremonial dances signify valour, pride and skill in swordsmanship. So concludes our journey to Bahla, a palimpsest of history and tradition, and one of the most beautiful wall cities of Oman. Bahla with its fort, its ancient market and its handicrafts, a city of rare and wondrous beauty, whose inhabitants have traditionally drawn inspiration from the bounty of nature as they forge ahead towards a bright future.